name's Shawn. Just wanted to go over the basics of putting a strap into a winch, some of the things to do to make it more efficient, and some of the reasons why we do the things that we do to make it more safe. So if we have just thrown a strap over the top of a load, your strap is going to end up on the outside of the rub rail. DOT rule is inside the rail whenever practical. So if you've got a load that it's necessary for the strap to be on the outside of the rail, it can be. But if it's practical for it to be inside the rail, you're going to want to do that. So the most efficient way that I've found to get the strap inside the rail is to pick up a little bit of the slack and then push a loop down through behind the rail, and then pull the rest of your strap through, being careful not to let any twists go past the rub rail. Now when you get to this point, if you hang on to the end, you're ready to go because this doesn't have any twists in it. But if you go straight into the winch, that's actually going to put a twist in the strap because this is upside down. So you need to flip it over, and there's a couple of different ways to do that. You can either take this and go 1/2 turn, 1 turn to the right, and then insert to the right of your strap. Or what I like to do is what I call a barrel roll. Just take this strap and flip it over like that. So then take your winch that you're going to use and turn a slot so that it's pointed directly at you. Put that strap through until a couple inches go out the back, and give that strap, the winch, a 180-degree turn so it's pointed back toward you again. Then if you want to do a double check, if you're not sure that you've done it right, you can pull this out and you should have 3 layers of strap with no twists in. If that works out, you can drop the loop and hang on to the end, and then start folding up your loose slack. And here's one of the safety tricks. A lot of people pull these up too tight. If you pull this up too tight and you don't get at least 2 turns on this mandrel, then you don't have the safety margin that you need for your braking strength. So you want to stop when you've got approximately a 1 foot loop down behind. Then it's time to take your folded slack, pull your strap out and insert that behind. And on most loads you can push this right up to the bottom of the rub rail. Then you don't want any slack up here on top. Make sure that slack is all down below. Now you've got your outer strap that's going to go to the load and your inner strap that goes to the slack. You have to make sure you even those two up so that when you wind up your winch, they wind up together. Now let's back up here a little bit. If you've got a load of some kind, maybe you've got freight right here, so when you get this inserted in here, it doesn't want to stay there, it wants to fall out. Then what you can do is when you're at this point right here, get all your slack down and grip this whole thing with one hand and go straight up with it, and then use your winch to pull it right back down into position. Then double check that you're jogged up here. Make sure that you're not too close to a stake pocket. The stake pockets have sharp edges on. And then you can switch to your winch bar. The winch bars have a curved end on them. Always make sure to use them with the curved end down whenever is possible, because when you turn them upside down with that curved end up, it's dangerous. That thing can flip over on you if you don't press on it the right way. So find yourself a hole in your winch. Watch your pawl. You always want to make sure that that pawl is seating. A lot of times they'll seat on their own, but sometimes they don't, especially in winter conditions. So here we're going to hit the ground before we get our next click so we can flip upside down. But when you flip upside down, you want to look for a 90-degree angle between your bar and the trailer. We can get that next click now, and now our next hole is exposed. Avoid the temptation to go halfway into the winch with your winch bar. You want to make sure that that winch bar is all the way through the winch. Now we can get our next clicks. Time to flip upside down. Again, check that 90-degree angle. Keep your feet on a wide base, keep them underneath you. Try to use 2 hands on the winch bar. If you're on slippery ground, you can grab the trailer for some extra safety. But if you do that all the time, your one shoulder is going to be doing all the work and you're probably going to wear it out. So try to keep your feet on that wide base underneath you, and it should be good. When you go to take them apart, you have to start low in order to be able to release without your bar getting trapped up against the side of the trailer. So you want to start low, get the slack off your pawl, come up with it. When it gets loose enough, you can take your bar out. Then you want to pull from right here. Pull this right out because that allows you to take your slack down. And instead of throwing it out on the ground right here, put it out the top side of the winch and let it fall out the back side. Then if you pull from above the rail and hold your locking pawl up, the winch will self-align. Then you can let go of your pawl and pull the strap up through the top, usually with a minimum of trouble. Then you can take your strap off from the other side.